Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Team Dare to Dream Dream Big Call. I'm Deborah Baska, founder of Team Dare to Dream, and you guys are in the right place at the right time. So you all are members of Team Dare to Dream, so you definitely, like I said, are in the right place at the right time. So anyway, this is our post-summit call, and I have invited several of our coaches that went to Summit to get on the call tonight and share some of their takeaways and their aha moments, because as you know, we learn from each other. And I think hearing what your peers and your fellow teammates learned and hearing it in their words will be helpful for you. But before we get into that, I want to just go over a few things that you need to know for the rest of this month, which the rest of this month is obviously we end on the 31st. So you have till July 31st to hit Success Club. So you still have lots and lots of time. That's what I'm telling you. What you need to know is we have our 21-day fix and 21-day fix extreme challenge packs, as well as the size challenge pack that's on sale till the end of the month. And so it's a great time to stress that sense of urgency that people are wanting to get one of those packs, need to get it before the end of the month so they save that money. If you are striving for Emerald, if you're striving for a rank advancement this month, you need to hit that by Wednesday, which is July 29th. So our business week always ends on a Wednesday night. So you need to know your time zone. Literally, some of you guys, myself included, have taken it down to the minute on some of these goals. So you always need to know your time zone and that we end our business week and our business month at midnight Eastern time. And if you're not sure how that converts to your time zone, Google it, time zone converter, and you can punch in your city, state, as well as Eastern time, and you'll see the conversion. So that's just a fun fact. You also need to know that we have the Team Cup Challenge. So that starts August 1st. And I'm hoping that by now everybody is matched up onto a team. If you're not, then we need to make sure you get matched up. Oops. Oh, there we go. So again, I've asked you before, if you're not on a team, or maybe you commented in the thread in Team Dare to Dream and you haven't yet been put on a team, or you're not for sure, just ask, let us know. That way, we're going to try to go through and eyeball it, but it's really important that you get on a team, regardless of if it's your first day as a coach or if it's your first year as a coach. It's very important, and it'll be fun. So I also want to make sure you guys know, in case anybody hasn't heard, we have a new product called Size It Up. We have a big, huge team challenge group for that. It's called Deb's Size It Up Challenge. So you are welcome to join that. You are welcome to add your customers to that. I am offering some prizes for different things, and you can still enter to win those up until Sunday, I believe is what I said. So that's open to anybody in that group. We also have some 21-day fix groups that are going. So if you have people that are wanting to do that, be sure to post about that in Team Dare to Dream too, because I know that we always have 21-day fix groups being run by somebody. Also with the performance line, I posted a fact sheet about that in our group so that you could learn more about the performance line. And I hope that by now you've kind of researched a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of coaches that are saying that men in particular, like the gym guys, right? They're really, really very interested in the performance line, because these are things that they're buying already. And, especially coaches, male coaches, female coaches, whatever, but you may be buying these products already at GNC or someplace like that. So obviously wanting to try these, but the really nice thing about the performance line is, just like with anything with Beachbody, it's all natural stuff. I mean, if you go to any, nutrition store, you're going to find all kinds of powders and potions. And if you look at the ingredients, you're going to see most likely a lot of sugars, artificial flavors, and things like that. I mean, you can find a few that don't, but most people are using products like that. So this is really, again, another thing that differentiates Beachbody from other sport nutrition brands. And then finally, we have the Shakeology Boost. And if you want to know about the Shakeology Boost, watch Sydney Baska's videos. Where is she? There she is. Watch her videos because she's all about that. She's been testing the products and making videos about them. And, but yeah, we're seeing a lot of interest in those too. So keep in mind that for the Team Cup Challenge, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but you get, if you sell a Shakeology Boost pack with, I think, a challenge pack, you get an extra point for your Team Cup Challenge. So it's a pretty cool deal. So with that, I want to go ahead and get started. If you have questions about any of that, just write them down and we'll go through questions at the end. But I want to go ahead and get started on the topic for tonight's call, which is our takeaways and aha moments from Summit. It's kind of your virtual Summit experience. And so I'm just going to go through and pop open the people on here that were at Summit, and I'm going to ask you to share some of your takeaways. So I am going to start with Sherry Bickley. It's like the Brady Bunch up there. Hi, Sherry. I got to unmute her, though. Oh, I can't get you unmuted. Okay, we're doing it a different way. Sherry, unmute.
Let's see what I can do. You get me?
Yeah, got it.
Hi.
Okay. So Sherry, this is your second summit?
Mm-hmm.
Second summit, and you went to your second summit as a diamond.
Yes, I did.
How did that feel?
It felt kind of unbelievable because I remember being at the first one as an emerald thinking that's never going to happen, which was crazy to even think that.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't think that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you have a name badge and it has little flags on it. You have a green flag if you're emerald, and you have a blue flag if you're diamond, and all these different things. And it's just kind of like a badge of honor to go around with your little flags. And I don't know. I mean, I save all mine. So anyway, so go ahead and tell us, some of the things that really stuck with you about Summit. And
okay.
Let me just start. Everybody should have paper and be taking notes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, let me just say I did not prepare a lot because I thought I'd be on an airplane today. I got my days mixed up, so I happened to be home. But at any rate, so I would say probably if I had top 3 things, I know you said 10, but I don't have that many to prepare. Top 3, probably the first thing that came through loud and clear, and this is like true confession with a bunch of my close friends, I am still struggling with personal development, like really consistent personal development. And every single thing I heard, all of Summit was about that. In fact, most of it was made up from personal development ahas from people. So it really got me recommitted, and I kind of came away with a list of things to work on, for personal development. So that number 1 was huge. Just seeing how much more successful I think I would be if I were truly, truly committed to that the way I should be. Mm-hmm. So that kind of ignited that for me.
Good.
The second thing, and they're on this call right now, I have to say it was so fun to have my coaches there with me. Like, there were only 2, but they were enough fun for 50. Yeah. It was so awesome. So again, and like I'm still quote unquote kind of what I consider a newer coach, and my team is not big, and a lot of them are discount coaches, but just encouraging your teammates to go and your coaches to go and experience that, it just was amazing. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then lastly, I honestly think like my favorite part of there were a lot of favorite parts, but one of my favorite parts of all of the sessions was Simon Sinek whenever he talked. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I just love that man. So again, it kind of goes back to personal development, but just the idea of, your job, if it's a job, is stressful. If it's your passion, it's not at all. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it feels. Like I can a million times a day for my 40-hour-a-week job, I'm like, oh my gosh, here's another email, another call. I don't really want to take it. But no matter what, like, I don't care what I'm doing. Like, if I get a message from a Beachbody person, coach, client, whatever, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to take it. And I noticed that feeling being different. So I don't know if it's a takeaway necessarily, but it's definitely something that helped me pinpoint. And his 2 books, I cannot wait to read. I've already actually purchased both of those. So anyway, and 4th takeaway, be very careful in the core because you will lose your entire soul in there.
Yeah, so Simon Sinek's book that he's most famous for is called It Starts With Why. And that is also a TED Talk. So I believe if you Google it, you can probably find that. And what is the name of his second book?
Leaders Eat Last.
Leaders Eat Last. That's right. Leaders Eat Last. And I've also heard him talk about that on the Entre Leadership podcast. So that's another good podcast to listen to get snippets from all these leaders. So Sherry, since you came back, what have you already implemented?
Personal development, non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I think I really, even though I kind of had because I set new goals for myself at Summit, in fact, you made us do that at the lunch, which is good. So because I set new goals for myself, I have those written down. And so really it's about the non-negotiables. I mean, for me, Success Club for a long time was, oh my gosh, I hope I hit it, but I probably won't. Oh. And it's not that thinking anymore. It's, I'm going to do it. And, I'm probably going to hit 10 is my thought. So that's really just a different way of thinking. Yeah. And also the other thing is trying to be more supportive to my team of personal sponsored coaches and their coaches that happen to be on our team now. So I really want to work on that and build that more, kind of develop myself more in that area. So
high five.
Woohoo!
So Simon Sinek said, Sherry was talking about leadership. He said, leadership is not about being in charge. It is about taking care of those in your charge. And so that's, the basis for his book, Leaders Eat Last. And, I've said time and time again, as a coach in particular, I was a leader. I had leadership responsibilities at my old job. And, I don't feel like I really ever excelled at that. As a coach, I just feel it's a lot more personal, and I look at the team and I feel more personal towards my responsibilities as a leader, just like Sherry said. So, you all chose your leader, you chose your sponsor, you chose this team for a reason. And, it's important that we as leaders take care of each other, those of you that put yourself in our charge. So yeah, that's really, really important. And you'll realize that as you start to grow your team, like Sherry said, she's, in the growth process, that, taking care of your team, it's a circle. It's like the circle of life. You take care of your team, then you will be taken care of. So it's such a symbiotic relationship in Beachbody. Again, in corporate America, it just felt so unbalanced. It's like the give and take was just like not there, at least not in my company. So thank you, Sherry, for joining us and letting you be put on the spot.
Yes.
All right. Well, Maria, you were there, and I didn't even get to meet you. I'm going to not take that personally, but you are so beautiful, so I'm sorry to get to meet you. So I'm going to unmute you if I can find you here. Here you are. All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your summit experience?
All right. Well, hello, everybody. And Deborah, I am very regretful that I didn't get a chance to meet you either. And that's why I was posting all that stuff about the exercise. I was like, how did I miss your posts on where you were going to be located? How did I miss our super workout?
But luckily, there was only 20,000 people there. I don't know what the deal is.
But I fell in with Sherry and Ron and Nadine, and it was great getting to meet them. So that was awesome. My summit experience was amazing. I have been a coach now for 18 months, but I've been a discount coach the entire time. I'm part of the military, and I keep using that excuse that I just don't have time to make this work. And so far, since I've come back from Summit, I have been full on, like, checking everything, being on Facebook all the time, but that's because I'm still on vacation. So it's really going to be a test for to see how much I can actually do once I'm back in my normal job. You know, I'm up at 5 o'clock. That's when I get my workout in. But then I start my regular day. I'm home by 6 o'clock, and then I'm going to have to see exactly when I can fit in everything. So I know it's going to take a lot of personal time for myself later at night to be able to do all the stuff that I really got excited and I really want to do. So the stuff I took away, Simon Sinek, absolutely loved him. He spoke to me as a leader in the military as well. So I also went and bought both of his books, and I cannot wait to read those. But then, surprisingly enough, the photographer, he had tons of quotes and life lessons that I wrote down some of them, and I really think that they are very aha moments for me, and I think probably for other people as well. So I'm just going to read a couple of them here. Vision. He talked about chipping stones versus building a cathedral. And it's all about how you go into a project looking at something. And it's all about the vision. And that is a huge takeaway for me. And I think if you approach any task like that, then you can be happier with your life in general. One of the other things he said, shift focus away from inner fears and concentrate on them and how to help. No, that one was social media. That was a social media quote. So shift your focus away from your inner fears and concentrate on how you can use your own fears to help others. And it's all about relating to people and getting them to really feel that personal connection with you. So that was something else. Back to the photographer, he said, unite advocation with vocation means to do what you love, but remember to love what you do. And that goes back to what Sherry was talking about. If you treat your job, if you absolutely love your job, it's not going to feel like a job. And I truly love this. I have loved meeting you in the past, being on these little talks, but I just feel like I haven't made it a focus yet. And now that I've come back to Summit, I want more. I'm in. I want it. I feel it. I'm excited about it. And I just want to be part of that family. And something else that I didn't get from, thank you. My husband's here. He's handing me some wine. So, yeah, something else that I actually want to share with you is a personal thing between my husband and me. We ended up having a long discussion about how I kept dragging him to all the different conferences, all the different talks that I was so excited to be there, but I wasn't excited unless he was there with me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I wasn't complete unless he was sitting there with me, enjoying it with me, because I thought he would love it too. Bottom line is, though, he didn't love it. It was something that I was passionate about, and he was excited for me, but not necessarily wanting to go there and actually do it. So one thing I learned, he didn't go with me to Super Saturday, to the Super Workout, and I had a blast. I met like 6 people just talking to them. I opened myself up. I got out there and I started making friends. And I came up with like 6 new people on my Facebook. And, you know, we just started talking and it was great. And I realized after sitting down from the Super Workout on Saturday and talking with my husband afterwards that I really need to focus on what makes me happy and not try to force other people to bring in this journey, be in this journey with me. You know, they'll just see it and they'll be inspired just from me being there. So I think that was a huge takeaway from me. And that was a personal thing, and it had to do with a little conflict I had with my husband. Mm-hmm. But it was great. I loved it, and I can't wait till next year. I'm already on board.
Yay, good deal. Yeah, I think that, you know, the fact that your husband supports you is great. You know, and some people don't even have that. So, you know, but that doesn't mean he's going to love doing it like you do. And so you're right. I mean, when you open yourself up to, you know, kind of let him do his thing and let you do your thing, and, you know, you're going to meet so many new people, and you're going to just like, it's kind of like this weight is lifted off you. Because you don't have to be worrying about, oh, is he having a good time? And, you know, oh, honey, did you get that? It's like, oh man, I'm totally soaking it up. Also with your military experience too, I mean, do you work pretty like normally, like regular hours?
Yeah, I'd say that I work regular hours. They're 9 to 5. But as I said, my day starts at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in charge of taking the kids to school in the morning. So, they're up by 6:30, and then the whole routine just starts. So
you're just like every other mom, right?
Imagine that.
Mom, yeah. So yeah.
So I think one of my biggest things is trying to really learn and connect from other full-time people, like people who have full-time jobs out there.
Yeah.
And
raise your hand if you got a full-time job and you got, raise your hand. And not I've got a full-time job, but I work at home. So we have Sherry, we have Nadine and Ron, we have Patty. I can't see everybody else. Anybody else who has a full-time job? Lisa? I know you do, Lisa Morris. Raise your hand. Megan has a job, a full-time job. Dina, Nicole, I know she does. So yeah, almost most of the people I know do. And Katie up here. So yeah, so I think sometimes, like if people look at me, I think one of the things I want you to remember is don't judge your beginning by somebody else's middle or end. My beginning was the same as yours in that I was a working mom. I didn't have, I went to work. I had to be there. I had a demanding job. I didn't have free time. I had my 3 kids. I have my husband, my dogs, my parents. I had all that stuff too. And I still have all those things except for I don't have the job. So, I started the same place. I'm in the middle right now. So this is really what bolstered me when I was learning how to be a coach is I could see other people's middles and I could see where I wanted to go. And I could see where I could go, where it was possible for me to go because I saw other people there. So that's what you guys have to do too. But, those people started at the same place I did. Some of them worked. Some of them were stay-at-home parents. Some of them, different vocations, but everybody started in a similar place. So it's good that you realize that, and I'm glad that you're coming back next year. And next year we'll definitely see each other.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait.
All right. We have Ron and Nadine over here, the dynamic duo. Would you like to tell us some of your top takeaways, things that you would want to share with others about the experience? Can you unmute? There you go.
Now?
Uh-huh.
We had to unmute on our side. I apologize. We have 2 rambunctious kids running around that you may hear.
Okay.
I'll start. So I've been a discount coach under Ron for, a year now, drinking the Shakeology. And you want to go to Summit? Sure. A week before Summit, he's like, you're going to die at the workouts. I said, what are they going to make me do? I can just stop. I was like, whatever, I'm just going. I knew Sherry was going. Fun time. Woo! And then after the first day, it hit me. Every shape and size of person you could imagine was there. Mm-hmm. That was inspiring. The biggest things, I really didn't prepare because we didn't know if we were going to be on this call or not. But what really hit me is when we were in the session with Katie Ersta in the leveraging the power of your story. Funny part is I knew she was a teacher within 2 minutes because I'm a teacher. And I said, she's a teacher. But it hit us that why not us? And it's the story of it. It's not the products. And so we came home. And since Monday, I've been sharing my story. I have 2 coaches in the line that are going to sign up under me. I've sold a size program, and I'm almost done with the Shakeology, and I have other people trying it. And it's only Thursday. But I mean, it was the why not us kind of thing, and everything about it was inspiring. Yeah.
Nice.
Back on what I said, but.
I went in with pretty high hopes, and what ended up happening really just blew it out of the water, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, and I know I said it when I was there, but I kind of purposely told Nadine that because I know she's a very competitive spirit, and boy, she blew it out of the water. But I think we both had that aha moment, and I'm mad at Sherry because she kind of stole mine. Simon Sinek he blew me away, and I've read his books already, but it just really reiterated a lot of the things I've thought over the years. One of the things, it was very ironic to me in that I posted a blog post, and that kind of in and of itself is irony because it's something I never would do. It's just a very uncomfortable thing. There's a picture of myself that I posted, and everybody has had that where there's something in your life, whether it's a picture, a video, something, and you're cringe like, ooh, I don't want anybody to see that. And I fought on posting, and I'm like, so what? I'm going to do it, and it is what it is. And it's kind of what Simon was saying, and the blog post I'd post is being comfortable in discomfort, and really reiterated what I need to do. And I'm growing more and more comfortable with doing things that just maybe people that would see me on the street or people that know me before would say, that just isn't the Ron that I remember. But I'm growing comfortable in that, well, this is the Ron that is now. And stuff that I wouldn't normally do, I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it as well as I can. I mean, that was a real big takeaway. And again, like she said, why not us?
We're going to be diamonds walking across the stage next year.
Yay. I mean, did you see how many couples there were in the elite group? I think there was 3 husband and wife duos that were both elite, and they walked across the stage together holding hands. I mean, how cool is that?
Awesome.
How cool is that? Yeah, I think that I really relate to what you said about, I mean, I think about the things that I post now versus when I first started. I mean, it's talk about cringeworthy. I mean, you know, and I can remember, you know, thinking, well, you know, like the first, I mean, I don't even know if I hardly ever post a picture where I'm wearing makeup anymore. Whereas before, you know, I would be one of those people where like, well, if you're going to tag me, I have to approve the tag because I want to make sure I looked perfect, you know, and it's just like, the reality of you is what is the story. That is what creates the vision for others as to what can be and what can happen. So that's very powerful. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys came. And again, I didn't get to see you guys. High five. Sherry kept you to herself.
She did.
Yeah.
She hogged
Set
us.
you off in a hotel all by yourself. I didn't get to yeah, logistically challenging. Let's see, who else? Let's go ahead and talk with Patty. Patty, can you unmute? There you go.
Okay, wow. I just was pretty much blown away by the whole experience too. And
okay, so this was your first summit.
Yeah.
As a diamond. You went as a diamond to your first summit.
Yeah. Well, that, you know, and the frustrating part for me was that I signed on. So my anniversary was, I just had my anniversary. It was July 7th. So that was like a week before summit this year. And I signed on last year, right? Just, I don't know, a week or 2 after last year's summit. I just missed it. So I've spent the past year solid hearing nothing but stories about summit and you gotta go to summit, and I'm like, when I first joined, and I really love one thing that I latched onto real quick was the Success Starters program, because I heard about that. I heard about hitting Success Club your first 3 months and you win your ticket to summit, and I was like, I am winning that ticket. I don't care what I got to do. I'm getting that ticket. And that was just like laser focused, and it really worked very well for me as far as giving me, you know, that short-term goal that gave me something to shoot for. It wasn't, you know, like incomprehensible to my brain, you know, 5-star pie in the sky. And it was really something that got me to really focus and go for something. And I was just so psyched when I won my ticket. And then when I went to my first Super Saturday in January, it was a football theme because of the Super Bowl. And they had this big board on the wall with these little brown paper footballs. And you were supposed to write your goals for the year and pin it up on this big green football field. So I wrote, you know, Diamond by Summit and some other, you know, SC Success Club goals and stuff like that. pinned it to the wall. And I really, just like I think someone had just kind of mentioned, I think it was Sherry who said, it was still that thinking of, well, I really hope that I'm diamond. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's going to happen. Well, so lo and behold, I think like about a month or so or 2 months before Summit, I just was like, I realized that I could do it. I realized I could do it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. And again, I had that laser focus again, because I've had periods where I've been drifting in and out. And it was just, I was like, I'm going to be diamond at Summit. I'm going to be diamond at Summit. And I was. And it's just the coolest feeling when you see that actually happen, and you read about, you have to have a goal, and you set a goal, and you have a vision. But then when you see it actually happen, you're like, wow, this really works. This really works. And another thing I loved about Summit was that it was like that first Super Saturday only times about like 1,000, 1,000. The fact it just suddenly it's all these real people, as opposed to Facebook where we're all these 2D faces and we're in chat windows all the time. The fact that now it's all in real life, including the trainers. Tony Horton walks by my row of people struggling on the floor in his workout, and I'm like, I've been watching this guy since 2007.
Patty, did you reach out and touch his leg?
Well, no, I didn't.
Right.
I didn't front touch his leg because he was walking too fast, and he was making a joke. I didn't want to wreck his joke. He loves his jokes. So, but I just was like, this is so awesome. Someone else mentioned about how it was, Nadine, about how everybody really is every conceivable, imaginable shape, size, walk of life, age, you name it. It just really kind of drove home the human part of it, the person, the people part of it. I think a lot of times we get kind of caught up in the strategies of marketing and Instagram and how to post and all this stuff, and you can lose touch with the person thing. And the thing that hit me at about the second day, and all I wanted to do was work. I wanted to go home and work out. I was like, I just want to work out. I want to work out. I just want to go home and work out, and I want to have a Shakeology. That original passion just came flaring back up, just even from like when I was doing this by myself for years, that I just wanted to go home and work on myself and improve myself and some of these arms that these chicks have, like I want those arms. Julie Voris, I want your arms.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was another takeaway. But for me, and of course Simon Sinek, of course, how can you not? Well, I actually am in love with them. So anybody who happens to sit next to him on a plane, give them my number.
Tell them. Yeah, I think that no matter how many times we tell people that Beachbody coaches are every shape and size and demographic and background, they just don't believe us.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I try to take, videos when I'm at Summit, just to showcase all the different types of people. And, I think the more we can share that, the better, just because, I mean, we all know that no matter where you're at in your journey, you have a story to share.
Yeah. And I'd have to say, lastly, just, meeting you and the other people that I've been talking to, we've worked with on whether Team Cup teams or been on Zoom calls and stuff for a year now, and finally meeting these ladies and guys in person. It's like you feel like you're meeting a long lost friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that bond is already there. And now I know, I've got it's friends for life, and we're already planning next year. We're already like lining up rooms and condos and where you're going to be and all this. So, and oh, by the way, now we know what not to take. We know what not to pack, and to leave half the suitcase free for stuff from New York. That's it.
Thank you. So as you all are listening to these conversations, I want to make sure that you know you are a part of this. this is not something that we went off and did and left you behind. You guys were all with us, and the sharing that we do while we're there is designed to help bring everybody there with us. And as we go forward into next year, I know I have a vision to have hundreds of Team Dare to Dream people there. And you guys, I want you to have that vision and listen to what it's like and know that that's what it's going to be like for you too. You know, I know there were several coaches that came by themselves. They traveled by themselves on a plane by themselves. They even drove by themselves. And that can be very frightening. You know, a lot of, I'll say women in particular, aren't used to going off and traveling by themselves. And so going to Summit is a huge deal. And it's scary. And I know some people will let that keep them home because they're afraid to travel like that, right? And when I get there, I'm not going to know anybody. Well, I can assure you when you're on Team Dare to Dream especially, you're going to know people when you get there. We're not going to let anybody be by themselves. Even Maria had Sherry. So, I mean, and that's why I create the group so that everybody that's going can get in the group and we can connect. And we were messaging and I was posting pictures of the big boot sign at Super Saturday saying, this is where I'm at. I'm here. So just rest assured that when you go with us next year, it's going to be just like this for you. You're going to go in feeling a little like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to, but then you're going to leave and you're going to it's going to be just like this. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is my family. These are my friends. This is the fire that's inside of me. So I just want to tell you guys that because I know for me, I have not gone on certain trips. I remember I didn't go on the first summit because it happened like 2 weeks after I became a coach and I had this JOB thing and I couldn't just get off work, you know, I'm a VP, they didn't like that. And then the first year for leadership, I didn't make leadership. I didn't qualify. And I remember I was watching it on Facebook and I got kind of pouty about it. I was just like, I don't want to see any more pictures of leadership. You know, I know how it feels. So, you know, but nobody at that time said to me what I'm saying to you is that you guys are a part of this. You know, when we're there, you're there. And, you know, we want you to have that vision that, you know, what it's going to be like. So that was my intersection there. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Miss Sydney. She's got some things to share and then we'll keep going down the line. And I made her do really good notes because, you know, she was here with me. So.
Okay, so I think really the biggest thing that I got out of Summit was all the training, getting to listen to all of the top coaches, and I got a lot out of listening to Amy Silverman and Megan Ewoldson share how to really share your story properly. So I took a couple notes here, and what I got out of it, they kept saying you want to have breadcrumbs. And what that means is you want to have little parts of your stories and you can put them in a little notebook or you can put them on your computer. And so those little parts of your story you can share, but you don't want to share everything. So it leaves people wanting to know more. If you share your story 100% out there, if you just leave it out there, people you're not really roping them in. You're just putting it out there. So that's what I really learned about sharing your story. And when you share your story, you want to really believe that it matters. You know, if you're sharing your story, you make a video and you don't have a lot of emotion in it, then people aren't going to see how much this has really affected you, how much your life has changed, and it's not going to be as believable. And you don't want to strive for perfection. People really can find perfection boring. And I learned that today, actually. I was trying to make a Shakeology Boost video, and I literally probably had 100 takes because I could not get it right. But I finally just gave in and just left it how it was. And it's not perfect, but
everybody likes it better.
Yeah, people like to see that you're a real person and you make mistakes. And then I got a lot out of Janelle Summers' training on how to really build your social media, because I've been working a lot on building my Instagram lately. So listening to her talk, it really, like, those things really stuck in my head. And she talked about building a like page. And when you build that like page, it can be kind of difficult if you don't do it right. The number one thing that she said is that you want to have a great banner right at the top. You want to make it look professional. There's apps like Canva and PicMonkey, and even PowerPoint that you can use. And you want to put, a picture of yourself, your family, an inspirational quote, a picture of you working out, anything like that. And you want to know when you're making your videos, I learned that you want to stage your videos. Janelle Summers said, she used Shalene Johnson as an example, that when you see Shalene's video, she's working out poolside right on the edge of the pool. And she's like, you really think that she sits there for like 45 minutes and works out poolside, not falling in? So she said to stage your videos, make really good lighting, and you want to make it a scroll stopping post. So people because usually, for me, when I go through social media, I'm just kind of scrolling. And if I see something interesting that pops out, I stop. You want to try and go for that. And then some other things besides the training is really just the atmosphere. Like everyone else said, it's just amazing being there with such like-minded people that have the same passion and interests as you. At Summit, you're waiting in line a lot. I was in line for about 30 to 45 minutes just to get in one of the training workshops, and I just struck up a conversation with the girl next to me. Never met her before, didn't know her, and we just talked about Summit, and we got to share our stories and what our interests are. And then a lot of people around us started joining into the conversation, and I just thought that was really cool how we're all just like connected by one, little big thing, like what Beachbody has done for us. And then the trainers, I work out, we all work out with a specific trainer. I work out with Shanti every day, so getting to meet Shanti, it's just surreal to see, he's a real person. It's not just him and a little video box, and getting to meet all the other trainers and seeing how genuine they are, and they're not just there to make a video and make some money. They're seriously the nicest people ever. And Tony, I don't even know what to say about Tony. He is just the funniest, strangest guy I've ever met, along with Sagi. Sagi is just the strangest man I've ever met. But he's funny, and I love him for that. And my light bulb moment, it actually came at the end of Summit. It was the second general session during Carl Deichler's speech, and he was talking about how he wanted to make August, since it's the Team Cup month, he wanted to break a record. And he's like, well, people back in the office say that I say that we want to break a record every month. And he's like, why can't we break a record every month? Why not? And that really sunk in to me with my goals in my mind. I was like, why can't I reach my goals? I set a goal to be a 5-star elite by my next summit. I want to walk across that stage. And I thought, why not me? Why can't I reach those goals? And so that was my aha moment of Summit. And
awesome. Yeah. So I think that, Sydney was talking about, I think it's all about dreaming big, and that's, Team Dare to Dream. Seriously, if you haven't heard me tell the story before, I named Team Dare to Dream because Beachbody helped me start daring to dream again. And I was the same way. Like Patty said, like Sherry said, like Sydney said, when I started setting my goals, my very first summit, when I was up in those nosebleed seats, Monica Gray she said, this was her advice, her elite advice. She said, always dream bigger than you ever thought you could accomplish. And you know what? Successful Beachbody coaches are the 2%ers. You've heard Carl say that before. We're the 2%ers, because the 98%ers, they don't dream bigger than they ever think they can accomplish. They only dream as big as they think they can succeed at, right? Because they're not going to dream bigger, because what if they don't make it? and then failure, right? And we all know as coaches that failure are just experiments. That's what Shalene says. Failure is experiments. You do something, it doesn't work out, it's an experiment. It's not a failure, it's an experiment. And so I've set goals at, when I was striving for diamond, I set 90 days to diamond, didn't make it. I did another 90 days to diamond, didn't make it. I set my diamond goal 3 times. Does that mean I didn't work hard at it? Does that mean I didn't have that as a non-negotiable goal? No, that's not what that meant at all. It just meant that I still fell short, but I still gave it my all. And then when I say I set non-negotiable goals, that's what I mean. I mean, like Sherry said, when she started hitting Success Club, it just became a non-negotiable. And that's the same thing that happened with me. That's the same thing. You see the Success Club legends. It's non-negotiable. It's not it would be nice, or I hope I do. It's like, hell yeah, that's what I do. That's just the thing that I do. And the same thing, when I was at my first summit, I've told you before, and this is what I want you guys to do, because you all have seen, you streamed it, hopefully you've seen pictures, you know what summit looks like. And it's going to look like that again next year. I would dare say it's probably, we're going to have those opening sessions in LP Stadium, because there's no place else that's going to hold us that big. You know what it's going to look like. You know what it's going to sound like. There's going to be lights, and there's going to be a stage, and there's going to be music, and your Carl Deichler and Jeff Hill are going to be over here, and, you can visualize yourself. All those people you saw walking across the stage, just insert yourself in that vision. That's exactly what I did. I said, I'm going to be up on that stage next year. And I inserted myself, and I did that for a year. And that's why I created that Summit 2016 Success Group, because you don't get where you want to go overnight. It's going to take you a year to get there if your dream is big enough, right? And maybe you're going to even do better than what you are anticipating doing. I bet you will. Because when you give it your all, you're going to do even better. And so that's why I created that group, because I want us to stick together and draw strength from each other and know that this is a year-long process. This is not something we're going to be all rah-rah about for a few weeks, and then we're just going to go back to the status quo. Some people will. And I hope that you won't. I hope that no matter if you were there or you weren't, you're going to keep this fire burning, and you're going to keep that vision in your head when you go to bed at night. And the way you're going to do that, we're going to do that in that group. We're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to share those goals. I mean, I've shared with you guys, every month I write my goals out on a whiteboard. Every single month. Some months, they're kind of like, they're not real super exciting to me, but some months they are. And I'm telling you, like this month, super exciting. Huge goals. And when I wrote down those goals, I was like, I don't know. I even looked at my husband. I said, I don't know. And you know what? I'm exceeding those goals, because I've looked at that board every single week. I've looked at it every single day. Have I hit every goal I strive for? No. I've had 15-star diamond on my goals list for a year or so. I was 10-star diamond by the end of last year. It didn't happen last year, but it did happen. So I'm kind of going on and on, but I just want to stress to you the importance of dreaming big. Don't be afraid not to make it. You need to be more afraid of not even trying. That's just existing. I'm reading so many books, just like Sherry said, Matthew Kelly, and he talks about surviving versus thriving. We want to be thrivers in this world, don't we? We're the 2%ers, and we're contagious. I guarantee you, if we all get all that mentality, we're going to start infecting people around us. And the next thing you know, it's not going to be 2%ers, it's going to be 3%ers. We're going to make more people that are wanting to thrive in this world. That's exciting. Okay. Molly, it's your turn. Molly. I have some homework to give you guys, so I'll wrap it up pretty quickly. But Molly, tell us some of your big wow moments.
Okay. Well, thank you for everyone for sharing yours, so I don't have to reiterate those. Yeah. So what I kind of wrapped my theme around capturing my notes on every one matters, because it was pretty big. Oops. Can you guys see me?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Okay, sorry, my dismiss. Anyway, low battery. So I wrapped my whole experience around everyone matters. And the thing about Shakeology and the other ingredients, you got to chunk it down. You know, just pay attention to all those ingredients. And for me, with your story, leveraging your story, when it comes back to the everyone matters, all of those different ingredients that we have come from real people who grow those ingredients. And that's part of my own personal story of human ethics and welfare towards animals. So that pertained to me. And DeWitt Jones was just amazing in that he said, celebrate what's right in the world, because I see the positive in so many things, and Beachbody is such a positive company. So embrace the positive, embrace that. But the other piece I want to talk about is my go-dos. So after Summit, I said I'm going to connect daily with my coaches and my challengers. I'm going to be in there more, because some people, the squeaky wheels get the grease. Others, you know, I will still text here once in a while, but I am going to make sure that I dive into each one, because every one matters. People have stayed with me now for 3 years because I actually truly care about them and I want them to succeed at their goals. And I've started I will give a gift to my entire downline. So everybody within my downline who participates in joining starting a new, you know, hopefully it's size, but starting a new workout by August 4th. They have to share their story. I have a few other requirements for them, but they also have to submit their Beachbody story, because I think for me, that's a piece that lacks. And for everyone else, if you have that story where you can start the story, people will see your journey, they'll be confident. People see me with Shakeology. They've known me for years as doing raw, vegan, all this. I start drinking Shakeology, people are, oh, I want it. And they don't even know what the ingredients are. They just know that I'm actually taking in something that must be good for us. So along with other stories, I can build that trust as well. And so that was really my whole thing about everyone truly matters. So whether it's the ingredients that we have, but especially the people, the coaches, the customers, anyone who comes to you and trusts you with the entrust you with their health and their fitness and turning their lives around, whether it's their finances or their health. So
Awesome.
yes, I do want to go somewhere in 1 minute.
Second. Her second. It was her second summit, and she went as a diamond too, as a 1-star diamond. So how about that? All right. I want to go ahead and give you some wrapping up thoughts, because I don't want to keep you too long, and we might have some other summit goers that are on the phone, but we can certainly talk about this some more. But speaking about what Molly said, and several of you mentioned DeWitt Jones, he's a National Geographic photographer. And I remember the first time I saw him at Leadership, I was kind of like, huh? I don't really get it. You know, I was like, what does this have to do with Beachbody? You know, I was really kind of, you know, I was kind of tired. But, you know, the more he did his presentation, the more engaged I became. And so I was excited to see him for a second time, because now that I knew what he was getting at, I thought, oh, I'm going to really engage from the very beginning. And I did. But one of the things that he said is, I'll see it because I believe it, versus I'll believe it when I see it. Now, how does that go along with what I just said about setting your goals? I'll see it because I believe it. How about we say, I'll achieve it because I believe it? How about that? I mean, that's pretty powerful. I think, you know, if we go about our day, our life, believing in the good, right? That's what Molly said, believing in the good and believing in what's right, believing that we'll achieve it, not waiting to see to believe. I mean, that's huge. So write that down. I'll see it because I believe it. I achieve it because I believe it. All right. So some of my quick takeaways. Let's see. Number one, two of the speakers, Christine Dwyer and DeWitt, I believe, said very similar things. They said, lead with the vision, not with the product. So what does that mean? And somebody else mentioned it too. It means that all we have to offer with Beachbody is really a vision. You know, you've heard me say before, if we're selling anything at all, it's a lifestyle. We're selling hope. We're selling a way of life. You know, if somebody wants to be a runner and do a half marathon, I've done that, and I was inspired to do that by my fellows that I've met on Facebook. I can talk to them about that. It's not going to they may not buy a workout program from me, but I can help share my experience, because that's the way of life that I am promoting. And leading with the vision, not with the product. You know, that's why I always say when you first start talking with somebody, it's about building the relationship. You know, you need to know what their vision for their life is, right? Before you can start helping them paint the picture. And I think that's what we do as coaches. We help people paint a picture. You know, we take what their needs and wants and desires are, the things they want to accomplish, and then we can put solutions, because that's what Beachbody offers. We offer solutions to issues, to problems that people face, whether it be health, whether it be finances, whether it be confidence, whether it be relationships. I mean, like Sherry said, do not discount personal development. That is like so mind-blowingly key. That will change you. That will change your world. You can bring that to people, not even customers, just on your Facebook page. If you're sharing I share some of the books that I read, and that's one of the great things about doing your personal development in the morning, is it gives you some great stuff to post on Facebook, right? And gets people, and when people then respond to that and they're like, oh wow, I really needed that today, and oh my gosh, that's so true. It's like, yay, we connected about something. So lead with a vision. You are the vision maker. And a great book, I've said this over and over, is called The Dream Manager. It's by Matthew Kelly. It's a very short book. I read it on the airplane. And when I read what the Dream Manager's job was, it's a parable. It's like a mythological company. That's what we are, and that's what the premise of the book is. That's what we are all here to do for each other, is help each other live to our full potential. You know, so whether it's, being, a certain weight, or whether it's, sending your kids off to college, or whatever it is that people are desiring to do, we're vision makers. We're hope dealers. That's what we help people do. And with that, another thing that Carl Deichler said this along with that: there is nothing wrong in creating massive wealth in an industry that is costing our society billions of dollars and wasted time and energy. So what that means is, right, we're here helping people with issues and problems that they have. I mean, the way we actually make, our actual money, right, is exchange of products. That's one way we make money. We help people match up with products that are going to help them save money, right, in their lives, because how many people are on medications and are obese and they have no energy, they're missing days of work, they're, all these things. And that's what he's saying. There's nothing wrong with us, right, or a company creating wealth, doing those things that are helping people with real, true issues that they have in their life. So I don't want anyone to ever confuse the two things and think, well, if I'm going to be over here helping people achieve their vision, but, if I help them figure out how to, get a loan to, buy their first house, how does that really help me? Oh, it's don't worry about what you're going to get out of it, right? That's the mindset we have. It doesn't matter. We're here to help. And when you help, you will be given back so much in return. The other thing is, Janelle Summers said this. I think some of you mentioned it. She said, make your why bigger than your fears. And so we always start with why whenever we talk on our Getting Started Right calls. I mention that all the time, but make your why bigger than your fears. And I want you to write that down, because I'm going to give you some homework in that regard. Another one here. This is something I'm going to be repeating to myself often. And I shared it with some other people. Carl said it, and then I repeated it back to some people when I was at the core. You know, you make lots of friends at the core. Hey, does this shirt work for me? What do you think? Should I get this one or that? No, get both. That's good. No, that's the kind of friends you make at the core. Just get both. No, but I was talking to somebody, and this is what we said. If someone had not shared this with me, I would not be where I am today with XYZ, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your way of life. If somebody had not shared this with me, I would not be the person that I am today. Therefore, I must share this with you. So think about that whenever you're asking people to take a look at the business opportunity, which is that big, scary thing nobody wants to do. Think about it that way. If somebody hadn't shared this opportunity with you, maybe you're not making a lot of money yet, maybe you're not making any money yet, but do you regret signing up as a coach? Do you believe that you've already been given things? I mean, I'm looking at Noelle. I mean, she's an Emerald coach. She's doing amazing. She and Sydney met on Instagram. If somebody hadn't shared this with you, you wouldn't be sitting here looking so lovely. And I know you've got a fire in your belly because I see your posts, right? And there's so much potential out there that I know you're excited about. So doesn't it behoove us? Aren't we beholden to share this with other people? I was trying to make a video this evening and I don't like it. I'm kind of like Sydney right now. I'm like, I don't like it. But I said in my video, I said, you know, most of you are going to watch this and just blow it off. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the one person who needs to hear what I have to say. And I think that sometimes we discount the fact that it just takes one. Just like Molly said, everyone matters. If you change somebody's life, if you save just one person's life as a Beachbody coach, would it matter? It sure as heck would matter to that one person, right? Right? It matters. Everything matters. And so that's kind of going to be something I repeat as my little internal mantra, and I may say it out loud. And sometimes I'll say things like that too. Like if I'm just really uncomfortable about talking to somebody, particularly about the business, I'll just tell them what I'm uncomfortable about. I'll just say, you know, if somebody hadn't shared this with me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And so I have to share it with you because it may just be what you're looking for. I'll just say it just like that. I have to do it, you know. So bear with me. Just do me a favor and let me share it, right? And who knows? Maybe that's what they needed to hear. Okay, so my next thing is, this goes to what Janelle Summers said as well. You have to be in pictures. She is, if you probably wouldn't believe this about her, but she's she used to be very shy. She categorized herself as shy. Now she's an outgoing introvert. But she was very shy. She doesn't like pictures of herself. She said, in fact, her first profile picture, she had a hat on and it was like way down over her face. And her sister, Shalene, finally told her, not gonna work. Gotta be a picture of your face. You have to get comfortable with that. And so, what? Yeah. Blow their minds with value, ease into it. Yeah. So what Sydney said too is your things need to be scroll stopping. So SCROLL, scroll stopping. So when you are taking your pictures, we're not saying you got to be professional. You don't have to. I mean, you'll see coaches that have professional pictures done, right? But you don't start out that way. And I certainly didn't. And the only time I ever have pictures done is for Elite. So my pictures aren't professional either, but they can still be scroll stopping pictures, right? With the proper lighting, go outside and do your video. Just like Sydney said, you want to show somebody some tuck jumps, don't do it in your dark basement. I have a dark basement. It's like orange walls. It's really dark. I'll go outside and I'll set up my how do you set up a phone to take pictures? Well, if you got a cup, you can set it up right here. And, there's all kinds of creative ways to do it. Or you can get other things that are a little bit easier. But you would try to see me today trying to take a video outside. I had pillows stacked up on the table, and I'm like, But my point is, I'm not going to go outside when it's 70 degrees and do an Insanity Max 30 workout outside. But I'll go outside after, and I'll do 30 seconds of tuck jumps so that I have a nice scroll stopping video. So my biggest takeaway for you there is you've got to get comfortable with pictures. You've got to get comfortable showing yourself. Because you are the story, right? You are the main attraction. You are the vision maker. You're the hope dealer. I mean, your pictures is what makes people say, oh my gosh, they're just like me. And the more imperfect they are, when we say imperfect, you know, scroll stopping pictures, they have funny faces, you know, they have, you know, they might have a word like wow. So stuff like that. And finally, here's one more thing. Do you know how amazing you are? Because you are. That's your story. You have to know how amazing you are. And Sydney was going to give us 10 things. Weren't you going to give us a list? Sydney, why don't we have her, like, she had a list of 10 things that somebody suggested on how to tell your story, but we'll have her post those in our group just for the sake of time. But, you know, you have to know how amazing you are. You know, every single person is amazing. And the more, you know, write down, you know, ask somebody to give you a list of things that make you amazing. Ask your husband, ask your mom, ask your kids, ask your best friend, people that know you. Even ask like your coaches or your customers, you know, hey, what is it about me that kind of drew you to me? I've asked that question before because sometimes we don't know. We're like, I don't know. I'm just do my thing. I'm just me. But you are amazing. And you have to remember that. The final thing I have to say is you've got to commit to your personal development, right? And there are so many, I mean, there's business books, there's personal, there's, you know, kind of what they call self-development. There's all kinds. I have reading lists posted in Team Dare to Dream. I've got reading lists on my blog. I mean, if you Google personal development reading, you'll find lists. I mean, you can go into Goodreads and you'll just find all kinds of things. I mean, there's tons of ways to find good books, but you need to commit. And so here's your go-dos. Number one, this is your pen and paper time. Number one, sign up for Summit if you're not already. And make sure you get in our Summit 2016 group. And if you're on the wait list, that's fine. Get on the wait list and get in our group, and we're going to set goals, and we're going to have consistency around those goals. We're not going to, you know, our enthusiasm is not going to wane. We're going to keep each other motivated. The second thing is, going back to when I said make your why bigger than your fears, I told you I wanted to do something around that. I want you to write down your fears around, I mean, kind of start with thinking about this business, you know, the fears that you have, whether it be, you know, what are people going to think of me? You know, are people going to think it's one of those pyramid schemes? Yeah, if I ask, you know, my, you know, old high school friends to join a challenge group, and I used to be, you know, really, and, you know, overweight, what are they going to think? Well, I'm still that girl, or, you know, whatever your fears are that are stopping you or holding you back. I want you to write those down. I'm not fit enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough about social media. Whatever your fears are. And then I want you to write down your why. And you know what I mean by your why. Not I want to help everybody. I want to help people be fit and healthy. We all want to do that, or we wouldn't be Beachbody coaches. Your why, the part of the why that's personal to you. Because this is what I always say. If your why is not powerful enough, then why bother? Like Maria said, she's a busy lady. Why would she bother coming home from a long day at work and doing any more work? Her why is what will power her to do that. And so when you write down your fears and you have your why, I want you to look at both things, and I want you to determine which one is more powerful, which one is stronger to you. Because going back to what Janelle Summers says, make your why bigger than your fears. Look at your fears, look at your why, and see which one is bigger. If your fears are bigger than your why, well then maybe your why isn't right for this. I don't know. Or maybe your why isn't, you haven't gone deep enough. You know, sometimes our why can be a little bit scary, right? So that's just something I want you to do, and I want you to kind of see how that pans out for you. And I would love just for you to share your thoughts on that in our Summit 2016 group. This is another thing I want you to do. I want you to make a video, and I'll tell you more about this in our Summit 2016 group, but we're going to start getting more comfortable with the power of our story, scroll stopping posts and things like that. and speaking from the heart. So thinking about what I said about if someone hadn't shared this with me, that's kind of the way I want you to go about your video, about, you know, just being real. You know, this is why I'm doing this. Whether it's, you know, not just about being a coach, but this is why I've taken this path. You know, just kind of see how that pans out in your thoughts. But I want you to speak to one person, not to everybody out there, but think about, okay, just like I said, this for most of the people out here, just already tell yourself they're not interested in what I have to say, but I know this one person needs to hear this story. And that person is probably somebody a lot like you, or like you used to be. You need to talk to that person, okay? And just pop your phone up. You can even hold it right here. Make sure you go outside where there's good light, right? But just do it, you know, and we can share it in our page if you want to share it there first before you put it out public. I mean, but you need to get comfortable with that. And it's not going to be comfortable at first. It's not. You're going to, oh, I don't like hearing myself talk. I don't like seeing myself. Well, nobody does. And then I want you to write this down where you can see it every single day. Maybe get a sticky note and stick it on your computer. And this 3 words. Why not me? 3 words. Why not me? Make it, you know, write it in a piece in a, you know, sticky note, or get a big Sharpie colorful pen and make each letter a different color, whatever you want to trip your trigger, but stick it where you can see it every day. And that, and finally, join the Team Cup, attend Super Saturday. That's not negotiable. All the dates for Super Saturday are in our online office already for the rest of the year. I haven't missed a Super Saturday in 4 years, and it's not because I'm not busy. So, again, it's the choices we make, right? It's the choices we make. So that's all I wanted. I'm sorry this call went long, but I hope it was helpful. And I just love that so many of you got on and share what we talked about. Get your teams pumped up, and remember, you are absolutely amazing. Good night.